Hey, it's Edna Keep here. Welcome to the Seven Figure Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host. I hope you enjoy this episode. Good morning, everyone. This is Edna Keep with Seven Figure Real Estate. And today I have with me one of my Mastermind members, Denise Drinkwalter. So we met during taking the One Sale a Day Club training together. And gosh, how long have we been in Mastermind now? It must be 6-8 months, right? It's been a long.
Yeah. At least. Yeah.
So I've gotten to know what she's involved in, and it's very, very interesting. And I always figure, if I'm interested, I know there's a ton of other people that's going to be interested. Denise has done numerology reports for us, and I'll get her to talk a little bit about that, which was so interesting. And she also works with parents with adult children, which is something I've never heard of anybody else doing. And we, lots of us have adult children, and if they're not adult children now, where they're going to be at some point. So she's got some really good tips and tricks for how we can handle that ongoing relationship. So welcome, Denise. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, Edna, thank you for inviting me. What a pleasure and a treat it is to see you on a different day of the week.
Yeah, we usually meet Wednesday mornings for an hour. But Denise, I want to start first with the numerology, because I know that was something that was really interesting for me. And I went through the, questionnaire and I got my full report, and it was really, really interesting. And I keep it right on my desk so that I can refer to it every once in a while. So tell us, what is numerology, first of all?
It's a great question. And I get that one a lot, Edna, actually. Yeah. Because people go, well, I've heard of it, or I've looked it up, and I get a report that comes flying out of the computer at me, and I'm a 777 path. So I'm like, well, that's a tip of the iceberg. Numerology is a language, okay? And it's the study of numbers. And numbers are a language that can be transferred and translated into English. And that's what I do. So when I do numerology, I read numbers, the messages that are in the numbers that you see, and I give you the message that comes out of those numbers. And everybody has a number. Everybody was born
and
on
it's based on your birthday, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. And so in a numerology report, the way that I have been trained, and I love the training that I received, it is combining the 11 universal frequencies along with the 11 energy bodies. Okay. So those people who are listening might have some familiarity or be totally engrossed and involved in the chakras, which are any energy bodies that exist in everybody's system. Energy is all around us. I know we've talked about this in our mastermind before too, about energy and how we use it and how we don't use it and how it can get blocked. So what can happen is we have these centers within our body. And if you think of those Russian stacking dolls, you know the ones I mean, that are the wooden ones, the one in the middle.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So think of those as your energy bodies. So you have got 11 energy bodies, and 10 of which are so let me put it this way, because I could go on and on about this, but there is an inner and an outer set of energy bodies. And then there's our skin. Our physical body is the one that's in between the inner and the outer. Okay. And basically my numerology readings, what I do is I take your birth date, and then I take all the other information that I've been trained on how to use the frequencies and the energy bodies. And I can tell you what your soul number is, your karma number is, your gift, your path, and your destiny. So with all of those pieces of information, I create a report for you, just so you could, like you said, you pull it out, you've got it right there. And oh, that makes my heart so happy, because it is a living, breathing document. It is who you are. It is what you are all about. Yeah. And the purpose of us being here on earth is to live our soul truth. And when you are struggling in life, it means that you are out of alignment. And so the numerology report gives you a way to realign yourself quickly because we have all the 11 energy bodies, but the report gives you 5. And so in that report, you will probably recall you have 2 areas of need and 2 areas of strength, right?
Yeah.
And then your path, which is what you walk from the time you were born to the time you're no longer on earth and you go back into the soul universe, right? That path you could go off and on, and you'll know when you're off and on, when the stress happens, when the anxiety happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's part of being a physical human being, but there are ways that you would be able to take that numerology report and realign yourself. Things that are really specific for you that will really tie you into being grounded and being able to live beyond just thinking everything through, right? So things where you always dream of, the visualization, that's a lot of times that third eye chakra.
Mm-hmm.
That arc line is when it comes up in your reading as an area of weakness, then it's something that you can strengthen. So I show that to you if you happen to have, a karma 6 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So in the report, I share with you what you can do to realign yourself, to center yourself, and to start to really connect to your soul truth and live a life that you dream of. And I know that's the work you do, because you want everybody to succeed too, right? Through all of the work that you're doing. And I love how you're expanding.
The work they love, as opposed
right?
to, so many people think, oh, I have to. It's so nice to get to the point where it's, I get to talk to, it's one of the things, I get to talk to different interesting people every day. I absolutely love it. And, if somebody would have told me years ago that eventually I'd make my living doing that kind of stuff, I wouldn't even have been able to fathom it, because a lot of times I think our strengths, because they are so easy for us, we poo-poo them as, oh, that's not important. Everybody can do that. But it is important. And the more that you can pay attention to that and get instruction, like different ways to work on things, I think is really, really important. Yeah, good.
It's huge, Edna, because one of the things that happens when you feel like you are stuck and you're like just living for the weekend, right? I remember, right?
Yeah.
Living for the weekend, you're missing so much of life.
Yeah.
And it isn't meant to be that way. So what can happen is when that's how you live day to day, then you can literally block energy. And so you start to get ailments.
I was going to say, and then that causes you to be sick, right? Because you're meant to live in a flow state and an easy state, not be struggling every day of your life, right?
Yeah. And aren't we really being put to the test with everything that's happening in the world right now with, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's what I love about the power of numerology and the work that I do, is that I bring a new perspective, and it's not about what is on the outside. It's so much about what's on the inside.
Yeah. Well, and something I read just recently, I think you'll like this, because it's, and sometimes, like, you're always on the path. Sometimes you're just walking backwards on the path. I thought that was interesting. Sometimes you're just walking backwards on the path. Let's get you turned around and instead of the struggle, find an easy way to make that happen. So I believe one of my homework assignments when I did my report was to spend some time in, and I can't even remember one of the chakras, maybe the heart chakra. And Denise gave me a recording to listen to on a regular basis, just to kind of, balance. Well, I can't remember if the terminology was balance that, or what was the terminology. Do you remember?
Can't remember specifically off the top of my head, but it probably had to do with realigning and
realigning. Oh, that was maybe the word. Yeah. And that's been interesting, because I did it frequently after I first got it. And then, of course, now I've been kind of falling off. But every once in a while, I'll just go into YouTube and bring up something that talks about the heart chakra and different stuff like that. And I think, just listen to it. Even in the background, it's good, right?
It's amazing. And the fact that you now have that tool you can go to. And, and we've talked before too, and I've talked to other people that when you are changing, that report reads differently because you have changed. Then you see different things in that report. The words have not changed. You have, and now you can take it to another level. So it is a living, breathing document and it's got so much power, but it's all about you. It's a report about who you are and what you're all about. So it's pretty neat.
And you know, what I liked about it too is it was very inexpensive. What would you charge? Was it $100 or something like that? Yeah. And you know what?
It's 100 Canadian. Yeah.
Another tool for you to use to help you understand yourself, because I honestly believe that the more we get to know ourselves, and that should be a study, knowing ourselves, right? The better we can be in life, the more fun we can have, the more money we can make, the more difference we can make in other people's lives, because you get to concentrate on your strengths and do what it is that you love.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I think we get much wiser as we get older. But I think what happens is when you are happy, that resonates out. And so you get that feedback as well, right? So you don't only impact yourself, you impact those around you, and everything just
same
grows.
With the negative energy, isn't it?
Oh,
you impact everybody around you. Yeah. Because I've been there a few times too.
100%. But now when that happens, you've got a tool, like you said, a strategies you can use and go, and you'll know that's not feeling right. And it's like, okay, I need to realign. Like you mentioned, going backward on the path doesn't matter. You're recognizing you're on a path, and you're recognizing you're going the wrong way. So you're way ahead of the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. So that's just one part of the thing that fascinates me about talking to Denise. But as a mom who has an adult child, and three more that are going to be very, very soon adult children, she also has a program about dealing with your adult children. So tell us more about that too, Denise.
Yes, I'm just actually, your timing is beautiful, because I've just created and launched this campaign. It's called Cut the Cord, Not the Ties.
I like that.
So as moms, we give of our hearts, we give of our time, we give of our money, we give of our energy. It's just what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's bad. Not at all. Yeah. We're moms, and that's part of life. What happens when your children grow up and all of a sudden the empty nesting is starting to happen, right? Which I know for me, I was like, can't wait. And then it happens, and it's like, wait a minute. Right? So what we do is as moms, I have learned, and friends and people that I work with, the women that I work with, there's that guilt to do something for yourself, right? I can't take time. I should give this time back. Oh, I can't go and do this because they need that. So we'll pay the money for them. I'll do that later in life. That's okay. I'll keep it. Never happens.
Yeah.
So this course, I teach you how to cut that cord and not feel like you have to inject yourself into their lives because you don't know what else to do. You're all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, now what do I do? And so you try to figure out a way to either get back in their lives, and then that becomes quite a rift and quite a problem, right? The struggles, because that's not the way you'd raise their kid. That's not the way you do it, Mom. That's not what are you doing, right? Or whatever, right? You hear that too, right? Where you go to grandma's house to be spoiled, right? All that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of stuff that comes in behind the scenes with all of that.
Yeah.
And moms just want to support their children and continue to support their children. They want them to be successful. They just want to do what's right, but they also don't want to relive parenting again. So how do you do that without pushing them away and saying, nope. So there's ways to set up boundaries. There's ways to move from where you are now. And if you want to create a better relationship, we go through all kinds of, what are the parenting styles? What were you as a parent? And what do you want to look at? What do you want to change? How do you want to adapt? There's ways to do it. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the overall goal is to continue to support and love your adult children. That is not going to change, but you can do it differently so that you become the woman that you want to be. Mm. Yes, you are still a mom. Yes, you might still be a wife. Yes, you are a sister-in-law, whatever, all those other roles.
Yeah.
that this is our opportunity to learn who we are again, step into ourselves from our heart center and love life. And just like I was saying before, when you love yourself, that energy emanates out and everybody wins. And it's so hard.
Wins. Yes. And you're so much more fun and easy to be around if
Oh.
you're happy, right? And what was that old saying? I still remember. There's still a lot of people that said, happy wife, happy life. But you know what? Happy home, period. Same thing, right? And the more people that everybody can work within their strengths, because it's funny to see the three, my three daughters, and then now my granddaughter spends a lot of time with us, the different personalities. Like I see myself in each of them in different ways, good and bad. And our girls, I see their dad in them, good and bad. And it's funny. But we just got to appreciate that, because they've got their own strengths. They're going to lead their own lives. And I know, I think my parents were guilty of this, and now Warren and I are a little bit guilty. The idea of one's just turning 19, the other one just turned 17. So very soon. And we're going like, yeah, no, we're not ready to have you guys move out. You could just stay here forever. We don't care, but that also doesn't work, because how do they become independent and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It's that tough time. It's like, yes, I want them to fly, but at the same time, it's like, oh, it's a tough world out there and it's worse right now. Right. And it's how do you maneuver yourself so that you still support them, even though they make decisions that you would not want them to make, but you can only control one person in this life.
Well, that's right. And then also, they've got to live and learn. And sometimes the best ways for them to learn is to do something, screw things up and make mistakes. And lots of times we try to protect them from all those because sometimes we've been down that road already and we know, but it doesn't work like that either. We can't protect them. We've got to let them make their own errors and figure out their own ways because they are on a different path than we are,
And it's being able to have that power within yourself to know that that's an okay thing to do.
Yeah.
You're not leaving them to the wolves. You're not saying, forget it, tough love, right? It's not that way. It's like, what is best for me so that I don't feel absolutely everything as though I'm living it through you. Because that's not
guilty and everything.
Oh,
else, right? Yeah. Mother guilt.
And that's huge. We do that already without adding to it and multiplying it and magnifying it. So when you are able to step into knowing who you are as a woman, new things will shift and change, just like that numerology report. You grab it every once in a while, right? So that's the type of community that I'm building, is an opportunity. And women of all experiences will be in that group.
Yeah.
So they'll be learning, sharing in a safe and comfortable environment. Because I know it can be super scary because you're thinking, I don't want to lose my child. I don't want to lose. Yeah. So sometimes you hang on so tight that you almost kill that relationship. Yeah. It's like, you're not going to lose them. It's okay. Let them fly.
It's change.
And and it's hard because if you're in your midlife years, there's all kinds of other transitional stuff that's happening, not only from that, but your body, all kinds of other transitional things that are all of a sudden hitting you in the face, like your knee's starting to hurt. And it's like, why? What did I do? I got out of bed.
Exactly. So Denise, how do people find out more, both about the numerology readings and the course that you're offering? Well,
I'm pretty straightforward. It's Denise Drinkwalter. So if you type that into any Google, make sure you put the L for Drinkwalter. And that's my handle. So that's how I am on Facebook, Denise Drinkwalter. Yep. And on Instagram is my main page. But Denise Drinkwalter. And if you type in cut the cord, not the ties, support for women in midlife years, you'll find me there too. I also have a website. Again, it's Denise Drinkwalter. So it's It's pretty simple.
All the same. Okay, very, very
Yeah.
good. And I'll make sure it's
Yeah.
all in the show notes too, guys. You don't have to look.
Wonderful.
It'll be there as well. So thank you so much, Denise, for sharing your knowledge. You're one of my favorite mastermind members because she's such a good coach. I tell you right now, she's such a good coach, because on our mastermind, that's what we do is we coach each other. So we get practice doing what we want to do. And she's amazing. So I know you guys will love her. I've got tons of value out of working with her in the mastermind for the last 8 months. And I know she's got good value to offer a lot of you that might be struggling with this kind of stuff. So thanks again, Denise.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Edna.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you so much for listening. It's my sincere intention that you got value from this episode. If you're interested in learning more about building your passive income through real estate, either by investing with us as a joint venture partner or as a student discovering how you can attract investors to your deals and build your own 7-figure real estate portfolio by helping others build their passive income, check out my website, ednakeep.com, or watch my free masterclass at ednakeep.com/90days to 5K.